Hello, welcome to another Seiler Instrument Quick Tip. I'm Holly Urbane from Seiler, Wisconsin, and I'm going to talk about a tool that's actually been available since the touchscreen was introduced on the TSCE back in 2001, and it has carried over to the new release which came out this week, version 2024, and it is the QC graph. If you go to the menu key and you pick Job Data, you can see right here there's a QC graph. By default, it's displaying the elevation. What I really like about this, at a glance, I can see that I have everything from 1,000 positive to 1,000 negative. Just recently, I had a customer do some inverses between some points that they uploaded, and the distances were odd. Well, it turns out, if I use this right arrow here, I can scroll over. You can see I've got some points that are down below 0. If I highlight one of them, you can see they have a negative 999. Some software, when there's no elevation, throw this in there as a placeholder. And so when you're doing inversing between coordinates, you can get a really funky distance. But so what's great about the QC graph, and this has always been a choice, is you can click on the y-axis and set what you want it to be. I know my job runs from about 610 to 720. Well, now I've eliminated a lot, thousands of feet, and I can quickly see the elevations of my points. In this QC graph, you have lots of ways to display your data. You can see, starting at the top, you've got your precisions, horizontal and vertical. You can tilt distance, how many satellites were used, what was your PDOP, GDOP, and RMS. For total station data, you can see your horizontal, vertical, and slope distance standard error. One of the other good ones is target height. So if I click on the target height, you can see we kept the rod height consistent. Every once in a while we raised it, probably to get around a car. But then here there's a gap. So you can click on any one of these and it's going to turn green and tell you this one has a rod height of 0. I can go to review that particular point. It brings it up here on my map and it tells me that that was a DR shot on the west abutment. 0 rod height is accurate. I can also display by precisions. This one is tied to some of the units in your job. When you go to the unit screen, you have a precision display. By default, it's set to DRMS. Your choices are 1 sigma, DRMS, 95%, and 99%. For those of you that don't know, right here you could hit the help button, which is F1, and it tells you that the DRMS is distance root mean square. So basically it's an estimate of the distance from the true position. So it's how good it thinks that shot is. And if you were to click on this precision display, you'd get a nice little table that tells you 1 sigma for horizontal is 40%, DRMS is 63, 95, or 99%. So depending on who you're doing the work for, what precisions you're supposed to meet, you can actually set those precision displays in your project units. So if I display by precision, at a quick glance I can tell I get from 0 to 4/10 of a foot. Well, 4/10 is pretty high, and that's probably this guy right here. So again, if I click on it, I can see that's a CP check. If I hit the review key, it highlighted it here on the map, so I can see exactly where it is. Maybe I want to go back and reshoot that point. Maybe I remember it being under a bridge abutment and it was a bad time of day. So using this QC graph, you can easily find outliers by elevation and by precision. Thanks for watching another Seiler Instrument Quick Tip on the QC graph.